So a couple weeks ago, yet another streaming service came out, Peacock by NBC. So, should you invest your time and your money into this new streaming service in a world of streaming services? Let's talk about it. So Peacock is a new streaming service from NBC, and like any other streaming services, there's a premium that you have to pay for to get access to the originals and to all the other content. But the thing that's interesting about Peacock is that it's free. That's right, you heard me, free. Now, if there's anything in life my parents taught me, it's that nothing's really ever free. And there is a catch for the free part of Peacock, is that you are missing about 3/4 of its original content / some shows and movies. So you're not getting the entire library and the full experience of Peacock, but I mean, at least it's free and it has ads and you can watch some of the stuff. And then from there you gotta pay about, I think it's $7 or $8 for the entire library, and it's with ads, so it's kind of like Hulu, and then you pay $10 for the entire library with no ads. So you're probably wondering, well, what's on Peacock? Is it worth the $7 to $10? Well, I'm here to tell you. And honestly, it's what you would expect. It's everything NBC has to offer. Parks and Rec, America's Got Talent, World of Dance, Will and Grace. You also have like big old throwbacks like Heroes, which I remember watching. That was a great show. So you have a nice mixture of modern and throwbacks as well, and then they just throw in random movies in there as well, like Shrek, a lot of DreamWorks movies, some cult classics as well, and then they have a multitude of things for children. They have old school like Woody the Woodpecker cartoons, and then apparently they've gotten the rights to Curious George because it's a Peacock original now. So maybe they're coming out with new episodes of that. They have a new Where's Waldo kind of show. They have a show called Cleopatra in Space, which I have no idea what it's about, but it sounds a little weird. So like any other streaming service, they have things for adults and they have things for kids. Now, I know that's kind of contradictory because Disney Plus likes to stand for being a family-friendly service, but you know, they obviously have some more PG-13, more edgy kind of stuff in their service as well. So the fact of the matter is, all these streaming services are competing against each other. And to compete, you have to have a wide range of content. And honestly, my opinion is this: you have to be a big fan of NBC to be able to, you know, buy the service. It's like anything else. If you're not a fan of Disney stuff, well, considering Disney is now Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars, if you're not a fan of those three things, Disney Plus is not the thing for you. Same thing with NBC. If you only watch a quarter of NBC shows and movies and stuff, it's the $10, the premium is not going to be worth it. You're better off just watching the free version with ads. I will tell you this though. This is the interesting kind of weird thing that I saw. If you go all the way to the left, at least if you're on the mobile version of Peacock, there's a thing called channels, and it's not like a live feed that kind of HBO and Showtime have, but it's more of like these just channels that have weird, or not weird, but just very random things. Like one's like a news, NBC News. Another thing is Office Shorts, and it's literally just like different scenes from The Office. It's not full episodes, which kind of leads me to my next point. So if you're anything like me and you've seen The Office multiple times, including still watching it today, you probably are kept in the loop that The Office is leaving Netflix. It was said to be leaving this month, but it's the end of July and I'm still watching on Netflix, so I don't know the idea. Maybe it got pushed back a little bit. But eventually, it is going to be on Peacock exclusively. And honestly, that's a big push for Peacock. That's a big push for anybody to go to that service if they're a huge fan of The Office. And my guess is it's not going to be in the free version. I could be wrong. It could be in the free version with ads. But considering how iconic that show is, I doubt they're going to include it in the free version. They're probably going to include it in the $7 with ads, $10 without ads version. Now, back to the originals. I said there was Where's Waldo kids show. They picked up Curious George. They have a Cleopatra in Space kind of thing. Those are all like original kids shows. Now for the more adult content, there is not really a wide selection. There's only a couple things. Now, if you're a huge fan of Psych, there is a Psych 2, is what they're calling it. Basically just a movie special, where the original cast gets back together, all that kind of stuff. Kind of like what they're doing for Friends with HBO. But yeah, I've never been a huge fan of Psych. I've seen one or two seasons. It's funny. It's a comedy. So if you're into Psych, that may be a big push for you to be able to watch that as well. And then they have a brand new kind of dystopian type series called A Brave New World, and it's pretty interesting. I've only seen 2 episodes, and that review's for a different video, but it is pretty interesting. It has the guy who plays Solo in the Solo Star Wars movie, starring in it, and it's your typical dystopian kind of vibe. You know, it's, you know, people take pills to like keep the peace, and then people stop taking the pills and they want to revolt or whatever. So more adult version of, you know, Hunger Games, Divergent, that kind of thing. So pretty interesting original, and honestly that's probably the one that stands out the most to me in these originals. Another one is Intelligence, has David Schwimmer from, speaking of Friends, has David Schwimmer in it, and it's a comedy about he's basically becomes an NSA agent. I'll be honest, I haven't seen it. I've only watched little clips here and there. Doesn't really gel with me really well. I'm not a huge David Schwimmer fan, if I'm being honest. Not a big Friends fan either. But yeah, so that's kind of like what their original content is. Just like any other streaming service, when it first launches, does not have a lot of original content. And lastly, I know I touched on the movies a little bit, but basically, you know, they've teamed up with a little bit of DreamWorks and mostly Universal type movies. So any movie that has the Universal brand is probably going to be on Peacock. And I mean, that makes sense because most of these streaming services, you know, have some sort of deal with a big production company or that kind of thing. So they're, you know, they're trying to build their catalog of movies. So, you know, Jurassic World is a huge, or Jurassic Park, I should say, is a huge franchise in Universal. So obviously those are all on there, and a multitude of other movies you can check out. Like I said, the free version is not going to include every single movie. The newer ones are not going to be available. Same thing with the TV shows, and obviously not the Peacock originals. But, you know, Peacock's kind of changing up the game. They're making it, you know, free so that you can kind of test drive it and see if you like it or not. And then, you know, obviously you see what content you're missing out on. You could pay the $7 to $10 to go an extra tier and, you know, get access to the full library. So overall, Peacock, you know, it's just another streaming service. It's not a game changer in my opinion, but it's got some, you know, little nuggets, golden nuggets in there, you know, like the Brave New World original, and, you know, obviously The Office coming and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let me know if you're going to get Peacock, or at least test drive it, the free version, in the comments below. If you liked anything I had to say, please leave a like on this video. That really helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye.